Good morning, everybody out there. Just got back a couple days ago from attending Founders and Legends and Gary Cotton here in 2024 for the 50th anniversary of D&D. And I just wanted to share some of the pictures and some of the fun that I did while I was out there. Um, we'll start off with the fun little town of Lake Geneva here. Let's see here. Here is when I was heading down to the library. You could kind of see the corner of the public library off to the right there. This looks out and over onto Lake Geneva itself. Um, and then here, taking a look at the uh, Lake Geneva as we kind of pan around. It's a really awesome place. I can only imagine how awesome it is during the summer uh, and the fall too. Here's kind of a map of the area. You can see down below there where the library is. That's where some of the pictures are. Um, from there, um, went up to the old Gygax house, 330 Center Street. Took a picture of that. There were some games being run down in the basement. Um, Here's a little poster of the picture of that's in the window there. Going to the library, they have the Appendix N chair, um, where I went ahead and took a seat at as well. There you go. And from there, I walked up to the horticultural hall. They got a little cement placard there in the walkway as you go up. That's also where the first Gen Con took place many years ago. Kind of interesting that it took place in a horticultural hall, but pretty cool nonetheless. There's the entrance going up to it. There's the Gary Gygax little stone there. I did miss finding, I couldn't find the bench, and I uh, completely overlooked finding the little paving stone down in front of the pier there at Lake Geneva. While I was there, I definitely got to meet some cool peoples, especially this guy here, DMJ, or Your Dungeon Master, also known as Johnny Silver. I've known him for probably at least 15 years online. Finally got to meet him in person. Super cool guy. Next up, got a picture. Grabbed Stefan Picorni in the hallway there. Uh, that was fun. Also ran into Kelsey Dion, who signed my Shadow Dark book, and Mike Merles. He was the D&D manager for 5th edition when it first came out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Also ran into this guy, Harold Johnson, old TSR employee from back in the day. Really cool guy. Uh, Ed Greenwood was there. Super awesome to meet Ed. He's always so joyful and cheerful at these conventions. So that's cool. Also got to meet another friend that I've known for years online but never met in person, Mark Clover. He runs Creative Mountain Games there at Lake Geneva. Super cool guy, really awesome. Um, Errol Otis was running around in this picture. You could see him DMing for a group of fine folks running the tournament there. Um, and if you'll notice, he has a custom DM screen that he designed. So that's his own custom DM screen, which is pretty cool. Um, Also, Bob Meyer was there. I didn't get a picture with him, unfortunately. But Bob Meyer is known as the grandfather of RPGs. Him and Arneson were took this concept, and later Gary it's like, oh, we need to develop a rule set for this type of system, and then came D&D. Really cool guy. And then this year, Mike Pondsmith won the E. Gary Gygax Lifetime Achievement Award. He's been working in the industry for 42 years. Super cool guy, fun guy. Let's see here. Let's take a look at. I was able to go around and pick up take pictures of a bunch of the old posters. Seems like every year, Gary Con has a unique poster for that year. This is the very first one, and then here's the second one. Really cool art. Here's the third one. Fourth year. Fifth year. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. This Gary Con 10 was the last time I went to Gary Con, so 6 years ago. 11. 12. 13. I missed 14. I don't know where I missed it, but I did miss 14. Here's Gary Con 15 from last year. And then 16, I didn't see a poster of it yet, but this is the image that they had posted on the website. So that's cool. One by Errol Otis. And then also, if you go to Noble Knight Games, right up on the wall, you got Errol Otis's original artwork for Deities and Demigods hanging up, which is really cool. Let's see here. I was able to jump in a game from Ray Scott, also known as Lord Gasumba. I wasn't in this particular game, but this was a pretty good picture I was able to snap of Ray in the middle of running this game with this cool terrain and everything. But I was in one of his games. Here's the group of players and me. We played this on Tuesday, in between the Founders and Legends and GaryCon convention. We had a great time. Ray ran this one for us. A couple pictures. Here's towards the end here. This picture here. We were successfully able to defeat the baddie, and none of us died, although it was very close. Very interesting adventure. Here's another picture of the aftermath right before that big battle previously there. Yeah, there was lots of gnolls, ogres, trolls, and then that bronze golem that was in that previous picture there. Super cool game. Then while I was there, Gamescape, Jeremy Gosser here, the guy up there by the fireplace. He runs Gamescape 3D. I've been a Patreon supporter of him for many years now. But I got a chance to attend his seminar and check out a bunch of the terrain he had there. I have a bunch of these files. I just haven't had a chance to print them yet. But actually seeing them in person, definitely changing the queue up and going to work on trying to get a bunch of these cool prints done. He's such a super nice guy, really talented, and if you're not a Patreon supporter of his, you should definitely support him. Um, his Patreon is, in my opinion, super cheap. You get a lot of value for what you get out of it every month. So, um, yeah, but anyhow, he went over, the trials and tribulations that he's had over the years of being a designer in the 3D printing business, and tips and tricks and whatnot. It was pretty informative, pretty good. So down below there's a bunch of the Drow in the Underdark road system there. Let's see here. On this picture here, he's got that new keep in the gatehouse here. He's got some other bits of terrain, the walls and everything. These are a bunch of the big pieces that he's been doing here recently. Here we go. We got some more ruins, some of the newer stuff he's got here. His own take on like the Baba Yaga hut there. So that's that. And then took this picture of the gatehouse because I got the low roads that you can see here, but I haven't printed this gatehouse, and it looks really cool in person. Definitely, that's going to be one of the next prints that I do. Super cool. But yeah, it was a great seminar. Jeremy's super awesome, um, and yeah, glad I got a chance to meet him in person. Let's see here. Next up, well, Gary Con is a memorial convention to Gary Gygax. That's why it's called Gary Con. So Gary passed away in 2008, and they wanted to do like a gaming celebration in honor of him, and out of that became Gary Con. So anyhow, at the convention here, they have this wall of remembrance they put up to remember Gary, but also to remember all those that have passed away in the years since then, to remember everybody and their contributions to this amazing hobby. Next up here, we've got the wall of remembrance. So they got a whiteboard right next to this. They got some pictures. You can see Janelle DeQuays, Gary Gygax, Jim Ward. Unfortunately, when he came during Founders and Legends, he was having some issues. He needed to go to the hospital. And then on Monday, we found out he passed away. So Jim Ward has passed on as well. The whiteboard back behind there, a lot of people, were remembering Gary and Janelle and a bunch of other people that have passed on, and they wrote their names on here. You'll see this is towards the beginning of the con here, and in this next picture I'm going to show you is all the names that have been added throughout, as the con went on, as people were remembering other game masters and whatnot. So, really cool. Then there's, they had some posters up there to remember Jim Ward, also James Ward, same person, but Starship Warden there. Found another one down the hall of this one here for him. So that was really cool. Let's see here. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing any other stuff in here. So I ran three games at Founders and Legends, and another 3 games at GaryCon itself. As a GM, if you run at least 12 games or more, you get a pretty hefty swag bag of goodies. And if I would have ran one more session during the weekends, I would have got some other exclusive stuff. But also picked up some bits and pieces as well. So in here's a bunch of the game loot that I did pick up. Of course, I had to pick up the Founders and Legends t-shirt. And during GaryCon, I got the Gary Con shirt. Uh, and since I ran a bunch of games for the Troll Lord for Castles and Crusades using that system, I also got an exclusive Castles and Crusades t-shirt there. But here in this picture, you also see a bunch of other stuff I got for running those games. Um, so you got a Stadium Cup, some pins, some vouchers for some free goodies. There's a face mask in there, a coaster, badge holder. There was a notebook. There was this dice set, kind of the old school dice set. It's the expert dice set. You can take the crayon to color in the numbers. That was cool. A couple other dice sets. You'll see the Errol Otis image boxes next to the shirt there. Those are some limited edition liquid centered dice sets that got kind of like an eyeball floating in there. I got one for me and one for my buddy Brad Smith. That brown box to the other side of that shirt there in the center is the Gary Con 16 uh, diorama mini. And fortunately, by the time I got to the merchant booth, and I was only like 5 deep when it opened up to the regular customers, I got the very last one. Of course, I had the card, and when I saw the total, I was in a bit of a sticker shock. They had advertised for the con that they were going to run $50, uh, and it ended up running $100 when I got there. A couple hours later, they found that they had some more, and at that point, they were up to $150. Um, so there's that. Got another picture of some other loot over here. Swing it over to the other side. I also got this cool uh, dice tray that kind of snaps together with this cool art there. Got a couple of these Gary Con DM screens. So that's cool. I got this Gary Con glass and Gary Con um, shot glass there as well. Next up, some more loot here that I picked up. Um, so I picked up the Codex Sonarum and the Free City of Altamira. The Codex, I unfortunately missed that Kickstarter, so I wanted to grab that because I got a 15% voucher for at the booth to get stuff. The Free City of Altamira is being developed by Ray Scott to put that in the world of Aird, since he can't really develop in Greyhawk. He doesn't have the rights to that, but it looks really cool. And then from the Froggies, I picked up Heart of St. Bathis. Once again, I missed that Kickstarter, couldn't do it at the time. And then Whisper and Venom. Zach was there, and I was obligated to pick that up because I was one of the very first backers of his original Whisper and Venom box sets that I have tucked away. And got him to sign that as well. Let's see here. Let's go on to the next one here. Um, this big box here on the bottom, Game Master Dungeons and Cavern Core set. Got that as loot for GMing at GaryCon, so that was cool. Back behind there in that other box is a dragon turtle, which looks really cool. Can't wait to assemble that and paint it up. So look for pictures of that in the future. There's some spray bottles over here from a guy from what the heck was their name? Uh, Art Art of Aroma, I think they were called. But anyhow, they had like candles and different spray scents that I got to imitate the different smells. I picked up Dungeon Runes and um, Town Bakery, but they had probably about 50 different scents and whatnot. It was super cool. Um, and I'm, never tried that. And I figured, yeah, I'll try a couple. Unfortunately, taking these on the plane, it looks like they leaked a little bit. That's why the writing on the outsides is smeared, because I guess the altitude change there made them leak. They're still intact, but unfortunately, yeah, it wasn't the best packaging to take on an airplane. Um, but nonetheless, I'm excited to give those a shot in my games, and if they go well, I might pick up some more. Moving on. So while I was there, I was sporting Keenan James's uh, Prince of Undeath T-shirt, which a lot of people were looking at and giving me the thumbs up on. And I knew Keenan was there, so I had to make sure to sport that shirt and go over and say hi to him. So he was pretty pleased, pretty cool guy. And of course, he had the print, and I had to grab that. And along with the print, you'll see there's a little pin next to it, so I got that for free to go with that as well. So really cool. While I was there, I also went by the Chris Arneson art booth and picked up this print. I guess this is the image they used for Gamehole Con this last year. It was super cool, and he signed it there in the bottom right hand corner. So that was really cool. Next up, I just have a bunch of other random slides here that we'll go through. Uh, some random pictures. I went around trying to take pictures. There's that dragon turtle that'll be assembling. Taking some random pictures of the con so you can kind of get an idea what it was like. Oh, that Molly plushie. They're taking pre-orders at WizKids. There's my mom and me in front of a GaryCon 10 poster. There's my first game I ran. That's Temple of Elemental Evil. Someone built a pretty good model. B1, Search of the Unknown. Looking out over the lake, Boot Hill. There's a jousting tournament that they do every year. There's my second game. There's a panel there, another panel, a seminar, the old TSR days. There's my first player death. Line getting in. Wow. Sorry that these are going by so quickly. We'll come back around here. Yep, snow followed me to Wisconsin. There's the bar. Molly plushie pre-order. Hammer Games, really cool setup. My mom enjoying herself. First game of Gary Con. Temple of Elemental Evil again. In Search of the Unknown. There's the lake at the resort. There's my second game. I met George and Scott there from Troll. The some of the Troll or people I play. The guy there holding his neck there. He's the guy who died. That line. Originally, they usually cap this con at Gary Con at around 500 people. I've later heard that they had almost 5,000 people that they sold tickets to, and that's why the line was crazy big. Yeah, we went there. We got there an hour early, thinking that we'd be pretty far up the line, and by that time, oh, I'd say we were a couple hundred people deep into that line. So it was pretty crazy, and it was backed up. There was probably 600 people waiting in that line when we got, when I had taken that picture. Um, there was a line later the next day, definitely not as bad. Um, but yeah, there was quite a few people there. Everywhere you looked, there was people everywhere. But it was a good con. Everyone had fun. Made a lot of new friends. A lot of people really liked the adventure that I ran for them. There were some really cool vendors this year. Um, like I said, I had a blast. And it's interesting because usually, sometimes when I get back from these cons, I'm really tired and wiped out. But I think I was able to stagger it and pace myself pretty good. Um, and I'm definitely not as run down as I normally am, which is definitely good after being gone for 9 days. So, yep. And, let me just double check here to see if we got any other pictures to show y'all. Nope, I don't see anything else. Um, some of those seminars that they ran was, basically what it was like back in the old TSR days, and what it was like to work with Gary. Um, a consensus I kept finding out, back in the old days is, you know, this was so new. No one had ever done anything like this, creating, Dungeons and Dragons and the artwork. So Gary and team, they were figuring it out as they went, which is really cool. They definitely, made something that was definitely special, and definitely thankful for Gary and Dave Arneson and all the others that were able to pull it off and give us this great game that we play, and pass along. Make sure you pass along to the young generation so we can keep this alive. Um, Definitely like talking with like Zeb Cook there at the seminar. He had no idea D&D would be this strong after 50 years. He think it would. He thought at one point it might have just went by the wayside with a bunch of the other war games. You know, not necessarily die off, but he never knew it would grow to be this big. So that's cool to hear. That they pulled it off. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and hopefully this will help those that have never been to a convention, and hopefully it'll show you what a convention is like, what to expect, and maybe we'll see you at a convention in the near future. Anyhow, take care and happy gaming.